You do everything right. You set the alarm early. You lace up your shoes before your brain has time to argue. You walk. Every single morning you walk. And yet the belly fat stays exactly where it is, unmoved, unbothered. Like it didn't get the memo that you've been working this hard. And here's the part that nobody talks about. It's not your effort that's failing you. It's your timing. Because there is a specific biological window that opens every single morning while you're still half asleep. A window where your body is literally primed to burn stored fat as its primary fuel source. And most people slam it shut before they even step outside. Not with a bad decision, not with laziness, with something as innocent as a bite of banana, or a splash of cream in their coffee, or a single piece of toast because they thought they needed the energy. The moment that happens, the window closes, and your body spends the next 45 minutes burning breakfast instead of the fat it's been storing around your waistline for months. To understand why this matters so much, you need to understand what your body is actually doing while you sleep. For 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours overnight, you haven't consumed a single calorie, which means your blood sugar has gradually dropped. And as your blood sugar drops, so does your insulin. Insulin is the hormone your body releases every time you eat. Its job is to take the energy from your food and either use it immediately or store it for later. When insulin is high, your body is in storage mode. It is actively packing energy away, and the doors to your fat cells are effectively locked shut. Your body cannot access stored fat for fuel when insulin is elevated. It simply isn't designed to. But after a full night of fasting, insulin has fallen to its lowest point of the entire day. And at that exact moment, the biological lock on your fat cells releases. The stored fat inside them becomes available, accessible, ready to be used as fuel the moment your muscles start moving. This is the window. This is the specific 30 to 60-minute span right after waking where your body's fat-burning hormone, glucagon, is surging, insulin is at its floor, and your fat cells are sitting there, open and waiting. If you walk during this window, before you eat a single thing, your body searches for energy, finds that the easy fuel is gone, and does something remarkable. It goes directly to your stored fat reserves. Not the cereal from yesterday. Not a banana. The actual fat tissue sitting around your midsection that hasn't moved in months. That is what gets used. That is the fuel source your muscles pull from. And the difference is not small. A clinical study published in the British Journal of Nutrition set out to measure this exact effect. Researchers gathered a group of active adults and split them into two groups. Both groups did the same cardiovascular exercise. Same pace, same duration, same everything, with one single variable changed. One group ate a normal breakfast before exercising. The other group exercised in a completely fasted state, consuming nothing but water. The results were not ambiguous. The fasted group burned up to 20% more stored body fat during the session compared to the group that ate first. 20%. From the same walk, the same effort. Just a different metabolic starting point. Because insulin was at its lowest, the doors to the fat cells were wide open, and the body walked straight through them. So the question becomes practical. How long do you actually need to walk for this to work? Because a 10-minute stroll, as good as it is for your mood, doesn't give your body enough time to fully transition its fuel source. When you first start moving, your body is still burning through whatever small amounts of residual energy are floating in your bloodstream. That process takes time. The transition into genuine fat oxidation, where your muscles are consistently pulling from stored fat, begins to happen reliably around the 15-minute mark. And the sweet spot for results sits between 30 and 45 minutes of steady, continuous movement. Once you cross that 15-minute threshold and your body has settled into its fat-burning rhythm, every additional minute compounds the effect. You are not sprinting through a metabolic window. You are holding it open, steadily, for as long as you keep moving at the right pace. And that brings us to intensity, because this is where a lot of people make a second mistake that costs them just as much as the first. It feels logical. If walking burns fat, then running must burn more. If moderate effort works, then maximum effort must work better. But in a fasted state, Pushing your body to its absolute limit actually backfires. Here's why. When you exercise at high intensity without available fuel in your bloodstream, your body perceives it as a threat. It triggers a cortisol response, a surge of stress hormones that signal metabolic emergency. Cortisol, beyond making you feel wired and then exhausted, has a direct and well-documented relationship with abdominal fat storage. Chronic cortisol elevation tells your body to hoard fat around your midsection, around your vital organs, because it believes it's under attack. So a hard sprint in a fasted state can actually work against the exact thing you're trying to accomplish. It burns through your available muscle glycogen, spikes your stress hormones, and leaves you fatigued by midday, without meaningfully increasing the amount of stored fat you burned. The optimal intensity for fasted walking is brisk, not brutal. Think of the pace you'd set if you were running slightly late for something important. Your breathing is elevated. Your heart rate is up. But you can still hold a short conversation without gasping. That pace keeps you squarely in the aerobic fat-burning zone, the zone where your body is efficiently oxidizing stored fat as its primary energy source without triggering the cortisol response that sends it straight back into storage mode. Slower is not easier here. Slower is smarter. It is biologically precise. There are two more elements that multiply everything, and both of them happen before you take your first step. The first is water. After 8 to 12 hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated, and a dehydrated body cannot metabolize fat efficiently. Water is not just hydration. It is the medium through which fat oxidation actually occurs. Drink a large glass of room temperature water the moment you wake up, before coffee, before anything. Give your body the fluid it needs to run the process you're about to ask it to run. The second is black coffee, if you drink it. Plain black coffee, nothing added, contains caffeine, which acts as a mild metabolic stimulant. It slightly increases your metabolic rate and encourages your body to release fatty acids into the bloodstream to be used as fuel. It can genuinely amplify the effect of fasted walking when used correctly. But the moment you add sugar, flavored creamer, oat milk, or even a small amount of honey, insulin responds. The doors close. The window shuts. Keep it completely black or skip it entirely. One thing that matters more than any single morning is what happens when you make this your daily reality. Because the true power of this routine is not what it does to your body on day 1. It's what it does to your body on day 30. On day 60. When you walk fasted every morning, you are consistently training your metabolism to be efficient at accessing and oxidizing stored fat. Your body becomes better at this over time. The enzymatic pathways involved in fat metabolism grow more active, more practiced. Your insulin sensitivity improves. Your cortisol regulation stabilizes. And the cumulative effect of all of that, the clothes fitting differently, the midsection slowly softening, the energy levels throughout the day becoming more consistent and steady. That is the compounding return on a habit that costs you nothing except 30 minutes and a pair of comfortable shoes. You don't need a boot camp. You don't need a restrictive eating protocol. You don't need to push harder than your body can handle on an empty stomach. You need to step outside before breakfast, move at a pace that's brisk but sustainable, and let your body do exactly what it's biologically designed to do when given the right conditions. The mechanism was always there. The window opens every single morning. Most people just didn't know it existed, or they were accidentally closing it before they ever stepped through. Now you know. So I want to hear from you. Are you going to try fasted walking tomorrow morning? Or have you already been doing this and noticed the difference? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if this gave you something useful, leave a like. It genuinely helps. Have a wonderful, healthy week.